Hi guys, today is another Yashahime. We're off to a good start. Hi guys, today is another Yashahime theories video. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day. In lieu of the occasion, I have a friend. Name is Guinness. It's not being sponsored, but you know, Today's gonna be a very interesting kind of video. It is a theories video, but it's kind of me ranting about a idea of Karimuru and the Windmill of Time and Akaru's pinwheel. I have like 3 pages of notes of this that I'm literally just kind of going based off of. Yeah, it's been quite a few days of just thoughts of what, you know. By the end of this video, it might as well be like a fan fiction. Like, that's literally kind of what it turned into. But anyways, without further ado, guys, let's get into it. The Windmill of Time was a very hard thing for me to research on, because literally in Chinese, Japanese culture, I couldn't find a single thing that had to do with time. Because I wanted to see if there was like any historical accuracy to this Windmill of Time thing, and there was nothing. No god or goddess of time, no mythical creature of time. The only thing that I actually came up with was maybe the Chinese calendar talking about the 12 zodiacs, but that's not exactly what I was looking for. I literally was just racking my brain and just going, what do I focus on now? And then I just went, you know what? How about Akaru's pinwheel? There's got to be some significance to that because, you know, Karimuru is asking Sesshomaru to get it, so it's important. So as it turns out, the pinwheel, according to Chinese culture, signifies turning one's luck around. Additionally, in Chinese celebration, the pinwheel also signifies luck, longevity, health, prosperity, and just like that, after many hours of research, of course, Karimuru would be after the pinwheel. He wants to turn his luck around. And then it made even more sense as to why Sesshomaru was wanting to keep the pinwheel a little longer from Karimuru, because he may need it in case things start to go south when he's protecting Rin and his daughter. So basically, Akaru's pinwheel is the key to everything. Now let me just explain something here for a second. What I'm about to tell you is going to be partially my crazy fan fiction, fan service, fan theory. I literally kind of came up with this at the dead of night last night, and by the end of it I was like, I should just write this into a story. But this theory is kind of like my own explanation as to the ending of Yashahime, but it's mainly kind of like mostly on Karimuru and his connection to the Windmill of Time and Akaru's pinwheel's importance and significance to this whole thing. Let's just start this out. We all know that the prophesized Shikon Jewel is saying that Karimuru will be felled by a half-demon. Karimuru, I think, is selfishly avoiding death using the pinwheel. Now, the Windmill of Time, basically, in my opinion, I think has some sort of connection to a demon's lifespan. For example, you notice that the windmill only turned after 0 was struck by Setsuna. So basically, I think Karimuru was curious as if it moved or not because he needs to know how much time he has left. I think it's literally counting down the deaths of demons, and the reason it moves is because it lost another demon. Basically, Karimuru wants the pinwheel as a failsafe in case the prophecy comes to pass. So it's literally not just a good luck charm, it's literally a way to turn around time. It may even be how Setsuna is revived or how Tenseiga is fixed, or both. I still believe that Karimuru has some sort of power over time, or he can outlive time, something. Obviously, considering his persona, Osamu Kirin, he he's got to have something. Like, he can either communicate with his future self, or his future self can communicate with his past self, or he remembers his past self, or yeah, I don't know. Even the Tree of Ages mentioned to Towa Setsuna that time travel is going to be important in this, which is why here's my fanfiction idea. As we know so far, Setsuna basically is going to die in episode 24, which I highly believe is not going to be true. She's going to be revived somehow. There's no way they're going to kill her off. It's going to be setting up for season 2. So basically, I'm going to put you my version of what is going to be happening in season 2 using the theories and the ideas and the stuff that I have researched, put in together into a nutshell. So here we go. So let's just say, sometime later in the future, Sesshomaru finally, or Towa and Setsuna on their own, find out about the connection between Zero and Rin. I mean, at this point, Towa already knows that her mother is in the tree, she just doesn't know the connection between her and Zero. So let's just say that Towa and Setsuna finally find out the truth, and they all, including Sesshomaru, go after Zero. Let's just say that they somehow got a Kuru's pinwheel, because it is supposed to bring them luck, or turn time around or something. And they are able to cut the ties between Zero and Rin. In that moment, Sesshomaru and Zero duke it out, fight, and Zero gets cut down by Sesshomaru. Since Kurimaru can sense or see, I'm not sure what's going on there about the windmill time when it turns, because he obviously knows it turns. So it turns. He, of course, is curious as to what's going on, because the last time it turned, Zero was struck down. Let's just say the windmill turns, he finds out that his sister is dead, and this enrages him. He lost his sister, and for good this time. Let's just say, during this battle, Sesshomaru, Towa, Setsuna, Kurimaru, all are battling out. And Kurimaru's kind of looking like he's about to lose this battle. He's somehow able to get a Kuru's pinwheel, turns his luck around, and I know this is something we don't want to consider, but in my defense and also in my dark-hearted mind, I went there. In this moment, Kurimaru uses Akuru's pinwheel to change his luck, to overpower Sesshomaru, and strikes him down. I don't want to lose Sesshomaru either, but let me continue. Sesshomaru is struck down, Setsuna may be injured, Towa suddenly, unexpectedly gets sucked back in through the rainbow corridor and is sent back to the modern era. Basically, she is separated once more from her sister, and she just witnessed her father's death. I know, it's dark. It's very dark. But it only gets good. We can only go up from here, you know? We landed into the bottom of the valley, now we're just working our way back up. Now, fast forward to a future Osamu Kirin, which we all know it has to be Kurimaru. In this future, he has lived almost nearly 500 years, meaning he's outlived all the demons, he's maybe the last of his kind, and he's still kind of getting used to being around humans and everything. It made me realize just how lonely that must feel for him, knowing he's the last of his kind, knowing that he killed Sesshomaru out of rage for killing his sister. It also made me realize, because now that we've seen it in some past episodes, the Grim Comet is flying over once again. Usually, Kurimaru and Toga in the past, or Sesshomaru and Inuyasha, would take care of the fragments that fall from the comet. So, what happens when the fragments fall and Kurimaru's the only one that can take care of it? To make it even more crazier, what if the comet this time is not just passing over the Earth, it's plummeting to the Earth? Not only is Kurimaru realizing in this moment his biggest mistake, that he can't take care of the Grim Comet himself. He's gonna be responsible for the entire wiping out of mankind. Kind of reminded me basically of a mirrored version of Sesshomaru when he loses Rin for a second time and he had to learn about sadness or to value a human's life. Same thing for Kirimaru. He realizes in this moment he needs to value not just his life, he needs to value other people's life. Like, not just humans, but demons. He's outlived every single one. There's no more demons in this world, in the modern era. He comes to the conclusion that he has to rewrite his mistake. So he seeks out Towa at the Higurashi Shrine, and because Towa, being as kind-hearted as she is, despite what she just witnessed, Osamu Kirin exposes himself as Kirimaru and tells Towa that they have to go back. Of course, in this moment, I kind of thought, well, we can use the Rainbow Corridor to go back, or just for old time's sake, maybe the Bone Eater's Well works again. I don't know. It's just a fan service. Towa, of course, says we could come back to the feudal era and be able to fix it, but how? Well, it is then revealed that after all these years, Osamu Kirin actually still has Akuru's pinwheel. They go back to the feudal era. They basically use Akuru's pinwheel to rewind time and go back to the moment that Sesshomaru is about to die. And basically, in a crazy, weird-ass battle, Towa, Osamu Kirin actually fight Kirimaru. Yeah, basically, Osamu Kirin, Kirimaru is fighting himself. Kirimaru dies. Of course, that does mean that Osamu Kirin actually dies, but he dies sacrificing himself knowing he did the right thing. Sesshomaru lives, Towa is once again back with her sister, and let's just say, old time's sake, maybe she's able to hop back and forth between modern era and feudal era freely. After Kirimaru has been vanquished, basically, Towa approaches Sesshomaru and says that you need to return to the modern era because the Grim Comet this time is now making its way to the Earth's surface and could potentially destroy the Earth or all mankind. This is the moment that Sesshomaru has been planning for. He kind of had an idea that something could happen to this effect, or at least this was going to happen eventually. He takes out the Black Pearl and he hands it to Towa and says, return to the modern era, and don't worry, I will be there. A little confused, she does so anyways and returns to the modern era, and to her surprise, who should be waiting there at the Higurashi Shrine but a human disguised version, kind of like Osamu Kirin, her father, in, let's just say he's in a business suit. I can only imagine and actually think that Sesshomaru is probably going to be in some sort of business suit or something. More than likely, he became some sort of CEO or something in this modern era. Come on. Also, fan service. I just really want to see him in a suit. In this moment, she basically approaches her father and says, now what? And basically, in this moment, finally, after all these years, the moment we have all been waiting for, Kagome and Inuyasha get released from the Black Pearl. The comet, as it's making its way closer to plummeting the Earth, Inuyasha and Kagome, aware of this plan, because I have a feeling they probably were in on this the whole time. They wouldn't have willingly gotten trapped into the Black Pearl. I have a feeling they knew. Just as before, Sesshomaru and Inuyasha basically take off into the sky. Sesshomaru uses his Bakusaiga to destroy partial part of it, and Inuyasha, this time, uses his Meito Zangetsuha to take care of the Grim Comet permanently. The Grim Comet no longer is a threat, nor will they have to worry about the fragments ever again. That's kind of basically how I think this would end. I mean, yeah, this is kind of like a fan fiction theory version of this. I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but in my head it sounded like a really good idea. So basically at this point you're probably wondering, what happened to Rin? After all these years, if Sesshomaru is in the modern era, what happened to Rin? After Kirimaru was vanquished, Sesshomaru has been using Akuru's pinwheel because of its significance and luck and health and prosperity. He's been able to keep Rin alive all these years. Yeah, that's a long time to stretch a human life, but hey, it's kind of cool. That means Sesshomaru and Rin are both in the modern era, Inuyasha and Kagome returned to the feudal era. I kind of believe that Setsuno would probably stay in the feudal era as well with the Demon Slayers, and Toa is able to return home, and she's able to have not only her father Sota, but she has her father Sesshomaru in the modern times as well. You see what I mean when I kind of said it kind of has like a fan fiction feel to it? It's not even a theory anymore. It's just me going crazy. It's just my brain having its massive fantasy of what could happen, or this could be a possibility. Do I think this is a possibility? No. Do I think some of it's a possibility? Maybe. I mean, like I said, when I researched about Akuru's pinwheel, it may have some sort of significance. I mean, knowing that it's supposed to signify turning someone's luck around, that could very well mean anything in positive way for Sesshomaru or Kurimaru, or even anybody in the cast. Like, the pinwheel, I still believe has a huge significance. It's got to. As far as the windmill of time, I'm still quite not sure, but I still kind of believe it has some sort of connection to the demon's lifespan, or at least demon lives. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it works as a way for Kurimaru to jump between the future and the past. I don't know. Oh, one other thing that I apparently missed in my little notes here. I know a lot of you are probably wondering or thinking, like, even I have thought about it myself, but 14 years is a long damn time for Inuyasha Kagome to be trapped in the Black Pearl. And once again, I kind of just went on with my fantasy theory, fan fiction, fan service thing, and just thought, what if maybe being trapped in the Black Pearl time works differently for them? You know, quantum physics? It could be a thing. I don't know. You can see my fascination for Kurimaru. He's such an interesting character to crack. I don't remember if I've said this before, but he's not exactly a bad guy, but he has the potential to cause a lot of damage or devastation. So you can see why I was so determined to make this video. Alright guys, well, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed making this video. It was kind of fun to kind of go off on a tangent, you know, possibly come up with some sort of fan fiction idea for this, a very interesting theory for this. I don't know. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm enjoying my drink. So, it was fun. Like, comment, subscribe for more geeky content. It really helps my channel. I really appreciate it. Don't forget who loves you. Sláinte.